great team of backpackers here at the moment that are on the planters. We've trained them to be in the seat, actually putting trees in the ground, as well as handing the trees to that person. So we've trained a backpacker here, it's Alon. He's doing our master trees. So he goes behind the planter where they can't put the trees in the ground because of the risers. So they have to stop, go around the elbow here, go back in the ground and start planting again. But obviously because of these positions and these placements, they've got to be hand planted. So he does that, and at the beginning and the ends of the rows. And we also have another backpacker who does all our taps at the ends of the rows. So we've trained him to work out and work where the tree line is, get the tap and get it pegged into the ground. Because once that, and lift the pulley up onto the bed, because we can't put the sprinklers and the guards in until that pulley's been lifted up onto the bed. So that's the process. And then the backpackers, the rest of them go along, put the tree guard on. We mound up dirt around the bottom of the tree because the soil here is very, very soft and powdery. So once you start getting the first couple of waterings on it, it kind of turns to soup. And the sprinkler and the trees kind of float around in it, really. It can, tip them onto their side. So by mounding the dirt up around the bottom of the guard like that, once it's had a couple of drops of water on it and waterings and rain, this soil kind of sets like concrete. It sets pretty hard. So that guard then is set in the ground and it acts as a support for the tree, because as you can see there's not a lot of windbreak around here and we do have a prevailing wind offshore. So the tree guard actually becomes a bit of a support for the tree. Experiment a little bit, because I was getting so annoyed because we thought we're doing a great job, the trees look good going in, the sprinklers look good going in, you come back the next day and they're all on a bit of a lean, and I was trying to figure out why that was happening. So the first thing I did was made sure that I only had 4 people that were in the seat on the planter, so that their technique was so that the tree went in directly flat off the plunger, because if it doesn't go in flat off the plunger, then your tree's not straight in the ground. And then if you're going to straighten the tree, I'd rather get the technique right for 4 people in the ground and get the tree right in the ground, then try and teach another 15 how to straighten a tree, because there's all sorts of different interpretations on that. And also too, I don't want them pulling up onto the root ball, try to avoid that. So by getting 4 people to get the tree in the ground correctly in the first place means it gets stomped straight up and down, so I don't have to move the tree, and now it's just a matter of giving that tree some support in the ground so that it doesn't fall over. And I think we've made a little bit of progress. I think the more recent blocks that we've done where we've really nailed getting this right, I think on the whole the trees are standing up better after, and you can tell after 2 or 3 days. It's within a day or 2 where the trees are going to start to fall over.
Excellent.
So it's really nice to go back 2 blocks that you've done a couple of days earlier and see that they're still standing upright. So this block up here, we planted this block over here 2 days ago, so you can see the difference here. So it's had water on them, they've been sprinkled over your boots.
Oh really?
Look see how it goes? It goes like silk. It's soup. It goes to soup. It's hardened off, and it will harden even more as it dries. But this here just turns to absolute mush. And if you're doing a wet walk, this is the first watering, and also too, the planters just loosened all the soil down the middle here. So it's all loose soil in there, other than where you might have, where you've stomped the tree in. So if you're going to put your foot here, you'll disappear up to here. And then that's when these all get all loose.
Excellent.
So again with the sprinklers, we're now making sure when the sprinklers go in, they must lean into the tree a bit.
Yes.
Because if it does get wet and soupy down the bottom, and it might want to fall, but it might straighten up instead of going in like this, and then it will fall. Yeah, well, it's just trial and error a little bit. Yeah. And it's just dealing with the soil that you got. I mean, if in a different area, You might have a much coarser soil, you might have more moisture in the soil, you might, I don't know, but you just got to work with what you've got, really.
Excellent.
Yeah. We've got the A16 and the P. And we do one variety first. We do the A16s, for example. So for our person who's doing the master trees or whatever, if there's a tree missing or he needs to replace a tree for any reason, he can just go to the end of the row. If there's no paint on it, then it's a P. If there is paint, then it's an A16. And it also helps me then to ensure that I'm following the pattern through the farm.
Yes.
As well. So and we get the trees in the right mounds. So that was a godsend doing that, because otherwise once they're in, you'd have no idea which one was which, really.
Yeah, no, that will come in handy.
Yeah, and especially too since Chris is going around, he's mapping the farm and he's actually now plotting
Yes.
on an ag world where all the rows or the varieties are. So this is helping him check that the correct row number has got the right variety in it. And I'm also adding in the irrigation zones into ag world as well. So because we plant by irrigation zone, so I can go ahead and plot that and get that into ag world as well. So these guys have just come off a planter. They're waiting for him to go and refill. So they'll stop back on the row while they're waiting for the planter to go and refill and come back out. You can see, how they're going in, nice and straight, and all that means that our guys don't have to waste time. There are times, obviously, when you have to because of issues that they have, especially coming up to the rises and going past them. But on the whole, nobody has to actually move a tree, which is great.
Yes.
So they leave a tree where they can't plant it.
Yep, cool.
Doing our sprinklers and guards as well. So I've chosen Andressa, and she is in charge of making sure that I've got enough guards, because we're using second-hand guards. So we get delivered fertiliser bags of guards. So we then have to put them into a crate just so that it makes it easier for them to distribute out into the field, and all the sprinklers as well. And so each day she just makes sure she's got enough guards boxed up for the next day and got enough sprinklers to go on with. And so it's something I don't have to worry about. A few more rows to go, a couple more rows after this. So we try and get going. We have 2 planters, they're preloaded the night before, kept in the nursery so that the trees can water them overnight. They're in the field ready to go by 5:30, and that's when my people arrive. We get the 2 planters going, and they don't stop unless something forces them to stop. So on a normal day we'll get all our trees in the ground by anywhere between 9:30, 10 o'clock, which is perfect. And then the guys, then it puts me 6 extra people in the field, because there's 3 off each plant and then come off the plant and they're in the field. So the sooner the trees are in the ground, the better, because then I get my people back. And then by 2 o'clock we'll have the sprinklers running.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What's up? Up. Good.
These guys give us a heads up that that they're moving on.
Yes.
And then I'll choose somebody out of the new crew, and hopefully, because I have the new guys for 88 days, may or may not, but anyway, I'll train somebody else up to do this job so that there's continuity all the time. So I like the people who work, I don't say for me, with me, to know as much as I do. So that it involves them, and they know that they're part. What they're doing is.
This is peas.
Peas, yes. Do you need them?
Yeah, I need one.
Yep, go for it. Okay. So they feel that they're part of a process. It's not what they're doing is a one-off thing, and that if they don't do it right, no one's going to notice, because they will. But you can can ask anyone to do anything, but the important thing is that they need to know why they're doing it, because then they understand that we're not just not getting them to do stuff for fun. It's like building up around the mounds, you know,
Yes.
with the tree guards. I took them to an old block and showed them, and I said, look, this is what I'm trying out, this is what's happening to these trees, and I'm thinking that if we do this, this and this, then they might stop that from happening. And they go, right, okay, I get it. And then next minute they're doing exactly what you want them to do, instead of someone thinking, I can't be bothered doing this because I don't know why they're doing it.
Yes.
So it's just I think if they're all on the same level as you, then they feel valued, they feel involved, they feel like they're actually contributing. You look after them, you know, you offer them ponchos when it starts to rain, you keep the water up to them, you give them a super duper every now and then, you know, to big bloody marvellous. And I don't mean in a patronising way, you know, we're actually genuinely,
Yes.
you know, they're very important people.
Yes.
You know, this 5-minute job that they're doing on each tree only lasts them 5 minutes, but this is the tree for the tree's life.
Yes.
You know, it's got to be done right.